Hi traders, welcome. Today we're going to go over a quick example doing a chart replay on Sierra chart on a trending day in the ES market and how we can use the delta volume profile in order to identify areas of, in this case, buying absorption, so aggressive sellers getting absorbed by large buyers, getting trapped, and the market just pushing up. We're also going to reference footprint charts as well, but overall the whole idea of the video is just to show you how you can use the delta indicators in order to look at areas where potentially markets are going to be reversing or where trap traders are going to be. So let's go here into the chart. This is going back. This happened on August 4th. We had a strong trend day. You can see right here from the open how at 9:30, as soon as the market opened, we already started getting a big impulsive move to the upside right here from 9:30. Just a straight move up. We're well above VWAP as well, which is a big signal of a strong trending market. And let's now look at how the dynamic session profiles are going to be developing. And we're going to be looking at right here on the left border. This is a delta volume profile, okay? This is a very simple tool. If I go into the settings of this just to show you, so you can see right here, this is the settings on Sierra chart, but obviously any other platform that allows you to have this indicators, you can use it as well. This is just the volume profile, study volume by price. Volume bar calculation method, we're going to have it as ask volume minus vid volume, which is basically delta. Delta is the executed aggressive market buys minus executed sells, and the difference, if it's positive, then it's a green positive delta, more aggressive buying, and vice versa. If it's negative, more aggressive selling, okay? And then the coloring method is going to be the difference between bid and ask. So basically, if we have more aggressive selling, then we're going to get a red colored delta bar. If it's more aggressive buying, green color delta bar. Okay, so let's just play this. Let's fire up this replay, and you're going to see how we're going to be starting to develop a volume profile that's going to start getting thicker and accumulating right around this area, okay? And we're going to pay attention to the bottom area of the node that we're going to be forming, which is where we're going to be getting consistent aggressive market selling, and yet price is going to be holding into that level. So I'm going to accelerate this, make this even faster. Okay. So this is overall the area that we are going to be focusing on right around the lows here. So you can see we had this resistance, then we broke, and now we've been holding this area of support. And now you can start seeing a lot of red highlights in this area. Okay. We're getting a lot of red highlights, and then finally we're going to see price breaking out eventually into higher levels. We do have one last push down near VWAP, but market eventually will come and break out, okay? And this is why, let me just leave this running until we get our final push back down almost into VWAP, as you can see. So here, big area of divergences, as you can see there. Let me pause this now. Okay, I'm going to split this into two parts. This is the first part of absorption that we're going to be looking at. Okay, you can see how cumulative volume delta overall price was holding pretty straight there. Cumulative volume delta started consistently pushing down. Okay, also you can look for the highlights here. This indicates we had a bunch of divergences in a row coming right into this low. One of the traps that a lot of people will fall on this is, first we have our high volume node, and one of my biggest rules, and I have a video on this, on the biggest mistakes you can make, is to try to just chase and short the bottom edge of a high volume node. Okay, in this case, we can see we've already tested this multiple times. We're printing large aggressive sellings at the bottom edge of this node, and price is still holding. Okay, also this looks like we're getting a descending triangle. So a lot of people will see this and they will just start trying to sell any move back to the bottom edge of this triangle, and this is a big trap that we get a lot of times, especially on a very bullish day right from the open. Sentiment is clearly to the upside. Okay, and you can actually see here a very nice trend line breakout, 1, 2, 3 touches, and breakout on the fourth. Okay, which I always say, fourth touch of a trend line is when the highest odds that we can really start getting a breakout come. But you can see here, classic trap of putting in what looks like compression, and we're looking for this to just break down, but we are at the bottom edge of a high volume node. If we go into the footprint chart, this is that area that we were looking at. This was the last push on VWAP, and you can see here, notice all the candlesticks have prominently all selling. All the numbers at the bottom of this wicks are red delta selling numbers. This is a volume by delta footprint chart. So volume on the left by delta on the right. Okay, and you can see all this aggressive selling. This was a very nice divergence candle, bullish hammer candle with negative delta. This one as well, purple highlight, so higher volumes of selling, holding. And then on this last move, this is where we get the breakout. And look, we get, this is a 3000 tick chart, by the way, 4 straight divergence candles with aggressive selling, and yet we're printing continuous green candlesticks to the upside. Okay, so this is the first part that I'm showing you of the accumulation and absorption of sellers. Now let's keep playing this chart, and we're going to start forming now above here a second area again of higher volumes. We're going to start putting in a high volume node into this upper areas, and just like here, we're going to start accumulating aggressive selling near the bottom that is going to be getting all absorbed by large passive buyers to push market up to the upside. So let me just pause and let this develop more, and we'll come back in a moment. Okay, so I just paused this so you can see we have our lower distribution we were looking at before, and now look on the top side what we got. We had the breakout that we talked about here, and now we've established a strong level of previous resistance now turned as support. We're making a new session high volume node with a lot of aggressive selling right into the low 63.40s, okay? So let's mark off the node, and we're going to be focusing on the bottom areas of the node here, okay? And we're going to see how market pushes, and yet all this aggressive selling is getting absorbed. Look how negative cumulative delta turned right from this point, and yet market is pretty much sideways on the price, but it is selling aggressively on the cumulative delta. And so once again, big aggressive sellings at the bottom of a high volume node, and all this aggressive selling is absorbed there. So now let's look inside the footprint on this area right over here when we were coming back into the bottom of this node and all the retests that we have. I like to use a volume by delta footprint because it lets me see very easily where we're getting higher volumes and where we're getting bigger deltas. So here, another great divergence candle. This is already a sign that there's a big player that is defending this area right over here. Okay, so you can see high volumes here on the purple highlights, medium high volumes, all aggressive selling at the bottom of this wicks. And then we come back on that last attempt, and same thing we saw on the previous example. We start getting a bunch of divergence candles to the upside on that breakout, and all this aggressive selling that we had at the bottom of all these candlesticks is going to be a sign that we're getting trapped sellers, and the market most likely is going to squeeze up to the upside, and they're going to be underwater and forced to liquidate all their positions. And also we're getting more breakout buyers coming in, and that's all confirmed here, as I said, with the delta volume profile. So a very important tool that I use to help me identify potential trap traders and reversals in the market. Okay, so if this video has been helpful, make sure to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care.